John chapter 11 tells a story familiar to us all. It's a story of loss. Lazarus, a dear friend of Jesus, has died. His sisters Mary and Martha are heartbroken. They send word to Jesus, their hope flickering amidst their grief. But by the time Jesus arrives, Lazarus has been in the tomb for 4 days. We've all experienced loss. Maybe not the death of someone so close, but loss nonetheless. The sting of a broken relationship, the ache of a shattered dream, the fear when facing an uncertain future. In these moments, we resonate with Mary's anguished cry, "Lord, if you had been here, my brother would not have died." Like Mary and Martha, we long for Jesus' presence in our darkest hours. We yearn for his comfort, his understanding, his power to make things right. These verses in John offer a beacon of hope. They remind us that even in death's shadow, Jesus is near. He feels the weight of our grief and offers more than just sympathy. He offers himself, the resurrection and the life. The shortest verse in the Bible speaks volumes. Jesus wept. 2 words, yet overflowing with meaning. Here at Lazarus' tomb, we witness the depth of Jesus' humanity. He's not a distant deity, unmoved by our suffering. No, he's a God who weeps. Imagine that scene. Jesus, face wet with tears, standing with those he loved in their pain. He didn't offer empty platitudes or theological explanations. He wept. He entered into the rawness of their grief and made it his own. This image is profoundly comforting. It tells us that our tears are never shed in vain. Jesus, the Son of God, understands our heartache. He's been there. He's felt the weight of sorrow, the sting of loss. And because he's walked through the valley of tears, he's able to meet us there with compassion and love that knows no bounds. Jesus' tears were not the end of the story. Grief, though real and valid, doesn't have the final word. John chapter 11 verses 38 to 44 reveals the heart of the matter. "Take away the stone," Jesus commands. This is a powerful image of faith confronting fear. The stone represents every obstacle, every doubt, every fear that stands between us and God's power, and Jesus, with unwavering authority, orders it removed. Then with a loud voice he calls out, "Lazarus, come forth." And Lazarus, dead for 4 days, walks out of the tomb still wrapped in grave clothes. This miracle isn't just about Lazarus, it's about the power of Jesus over death itself. It's a promise whispered to every heart touched by sorrow. Grief doesn't have the last word, Jesus does. John chapter 11 verses 33 to 44 presents a magnificent paradox, a God who weeps and a God who conquers death. It's in this beautiful tension, this tapestry of divine power and human compassion, that we discover true comfort and unshakable hope. When we hurt, we can run to Jesus, knowing he understands our pain more deeply than we can imagine. He's not intimidated by our tears. He welcomes them. He gathers them like precious pearls, evidence of a love that runs deeper than the grave. But he doesn't leave us in our sorrow. He offers more than just a shoulder to cry on. He offers the very power that conquered death. He offers resurrection life, hope that transcends the temporary, and a future where tears are wiped away forever. Section 5. A high priest who feels our pain, finding solace in Hebrews. Hebrews chapter 4 verses 14 to 16 echoes this message of comfort and hope. For we do not have a high priest who is unable to sympathize with our weaknesses, but one who in every respect has been tempted as we are, yet without sin. These verses remind us that Jesus isn't some distant, unrelatable deity. He's walked in our shoes. He knows what it's like to face temptation, to experience sorrow, to feel the weight of the world on his shoulders. And because he's walked this human journey, he's able to intercede for us with compassion and understanding. He invites us to come boldly to the throne of grace, not with perfect lives or polished words, but with open hearts and tear-stained faces. He's waiting to meet us there, offering grace upon grace, hope upon hope. Section 6. Whispers of hope in the darkness, clinging to faith. Life inevitably throws curveballs our way. We face disappointments, illnesses, betrayals, and losses that leave us reeling. In those moments when the darkness feels all-consuming, it's easy to question God's goodness, to wonder if he's truly present. But it's precisely in these moments, when our faith is stretched thin, that we need to cling to the truth of John chapter 11 verses 33 to 44 and Hebrews chapter 4 verses 14 to 16. We need to remind ourselves that Jesus weeps with us. He understands our pain, and he's bigger than our circumstances. He's the God who rolled away the stone, who called Lazarus out of the tomb, who holds the keys to death and hell, and he whispers a promise over our weary hearts. I am the resurrection and the life. Whoever believes in me, though he die, yet shall he live. John chapter 11, verse 25, ESV. Section 7. From Morning to Morning, the Dawn of Resurrection, Hope. The story of Lazarus isn't just a historical account, it's a timeless parable of God's power to bring life out of death, hope out of despair. It's a reminder that even in the darkest night, morning will come. We see this resurrection power not only in the raising of Lazarus, but also in the transformed lives of countless individuals throughout history. People who, facing impossible odds and unbearable grief, found solace and strength in the arms of a loving Savior. Their stories testify to the truth that God specializes in turning mourning into dancing, ashes into beauty, and despair into hope. He takes our broken pieces and creates something new, something beautiful, something infused with His eternal purpose. More than just comfort, the transforming power of faith. While God's comfort is a source of immense strength, His desire goes beyond simply making us feel better. He wants to transform our pain into a testimony of His faithfulness, our grief into a conduit of His grace. This transformation doesn't erase our pain or diminish our loss. Instead, it reframes it through the lens of eternity. It allows us to see that even in our deepest sorrows, God is working, weaving together a tapestry of redemption that we can't yet fully comprehend. As we surrender our pain to Him, allowing His love to heal and restore us, we become living testaments to His unwavering faithfulness. We become beacons of hope, shining brightly in a world shrouded in darkness. Living examples, stories of faith triumphant. Throughout history, countless individuals have embodied this faith-fueled transformation. We see it in the life of Corrie ten Boom, who found hope amidst the horrors of a concentration camp, clinging to the truth that God's love is stronger than hate. We see it in the story of Joni Eareckson Tada, paralyzed in a diving accident, who discovered purpose and joy in serving others despite her physical limitations. We witness it in countless other ordinary people who, faced with unimaginable suffering, chose to trust in a God who sees, who understands, and who redeems. Their stories inspire us, challenge us, and remind us that we too can overcome life's trials by clinging to the unshakable hope found in Jesus Christ. Your tears are not in vain, an invitation to trust. Maybe today you find yourself walking through a valley of tears. Maybe loss has cast a long shadow over your life, leaving you feeling broken and alone. Please know this, your tears are not invisible to God. He sees you, He hears your cries, and He cares. He invites you to bring your pain to Him, to pour out your heart before Him without reservation. He won't offer you empty platitudes or quick fixes. Instead, He'll meet you in your grief, offering comfort, strength, and the unwavering assurance that you are not alone. Choose to trust Him even when it hurts. Choose to believe that He's working all things together for your good, even when you can't see it. Choose to cling to the hope that morning will come, that joy will return, and that His love will see you through. Beyond the grave, a future filled with hope. John chapter 11 verses 33 to 44 points us beyond the immediacy of grief to a future brimming with hope. It reminds us that death is not the end. For those who believe in Jesus, it's simply a doorway into His eternal presence, a homecoming more glorious than we can imagine. This hope doesn't erase the pain of loss, but it does infuse it with meaning. It allows us to grieve with hope, knowing that our loved ones who knew Christ are now safe in His embrace, experiencing a joy and peace beyond our comprehension. As we hold on to this hope, our perspective shifts. We begin to see the temporary nature of this life and the eternal weight of the one to come, and we find ourselves clinging to the promise that one day, tears will be no more, pain will be a distant memory, and death will be swallowed up in victory.